Hello there. Welcome to the live show. I'm not sure if many people know about it, but tonight I am here to talk about, read about people's comments about reparations. I asked Black people today about reparations and what they thought, and a lot of people gave me a lot of things to read. So that's what I'm going to do. If you're here, please say hello. This is going to be probably a very, very small audience, so you can jump in and say whatever you want. For people who don't know me, I'm Angry Soccer Mom. I do a live show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where viewers and I discuss current ongoing news surrounding racism, bigotry, and inequality in America. And that's a lot of stuff. So for this show, if it's your first time being here, please subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you believe that it's way past time for white America to take some racial responsibility. Then please subscribe and check out some of my videos. The goal of all my online communities is to reach out to as many white folks as possible. Hey, Pat, thank you so much for being here. I definitely want to know what your take is. Yay, I'm really psyched you're here. Is to reach out to as many white folks as possible and help to educate them to know our real racial history. DJ Dissel Sergeant, thank you. Hello. Thanks for being here. It's just a quick thing I put together. I got a lot of people today sending me their take on reparations. And it's a huge issue. And reparations, oh my goodness, it's huge. I don't know what else to say about that. Today's show is Leisha, hello. I'll tell you, Pat, I'll back it up in 1 second. Today's show is a format of open mic, basically. I want to know from Black Americans what you think of reparations. And I have a ton of people who wrote to me and told me what they wanted me to read. So jump on in anytime. And the purpose of this show is I want to use my white privilege to really outline and spotlight real people who are affected by not being able to have reparations or yet, or maybe ever, who knows. I want to know what you think. There's no right or wrong answers. If you're a Black person and you want to say what you think, say it. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to spotlight your feelings and your comments, and hopefully we'll get some white folks to check it out. So it's kind of just a real quick thing that I miss. Hello, Mr. Evans Black. Thank you for being here. So just once again, as people kind of come in, tonight's an open mic for, I'm not going to do rants. It's finally not about me, for God's sakes. I want to know what you think about reparations and about the hearings and what's really going on, if anything. I obviously have my own take, which I don't think anyone wants to hear. Here's the thing. As a white person, it's my comments and my beliefs are really inconsequential. It's not my place. I'm here to support the best practices and the general desires of, it's the Black community is not a monolith, but in general, people kind of stick together. They see the systemic racism and they're not happy, and they're basically abused by it, to one degree or another. So my place is to support, not to say what I think should be done. Obviously, I 100% support reparations, and I know not every Black person does, but I do. Let me see. J. Diesel Sergeant, support reparations, but voluntarily, for example, for someone who would appreciate my efforts. In that context, would be more than happy to give reparations. Can you elaborate on that? I want to understand what you were saying further. Mind Gorilla, hello, thank you for being here. So we're talking tonight about reparations, and I'm hoping that Black folks who have strong opinions will jump in and say what they think. I'm going to get started while you might be thinking about what you want to say. And I know that YouTube doesn't give you much room to write. So just put continued and I'll find the next, or sometimes what I do when I'm on YouTube, write it all out and then just copy and paste it. So it just goes boom, boom, so I can get them in a row. I'm not sure why they do that, but I want to know what you think. not to judge it, but so that when white folks watch this, they can get a feel of, you don't have to be an expert. If you are living it, then you have a PhD in experience. Okay, so today's format again is open mic. I would like to hear what you have to say if you are a Black person that this impacts. I have a lot of people who message me and they told me that I could use their content. I got such a large response, in fact, which I was thrilled about, that I kind of needed to edit some people's because they were really long. And I apologize because normally I would never do that, but I kind of had to do it. So here's an example. I'm just going to jump right in. One friend wrote, reparations are, and I'm not naming people unless they told me to name them. One person wrote, reparations are overdue. No matter how high the amount, it will never pay for the years of forced labor, rape, murder, and countless other atrocities. Anyone who claims that slavery is past and that no white person in today's present day is accountable is woefully blind and stupid. And the continuing injustice, the systemic racism and white privilege enjoyed at the expense and suffering of a race that has been horribly oppressed. And I'm going to read most of these very directly. So if they don't make like complete sense, just imagine somebody's talking. Mind Gorilla, I love you, but you know what my sentiments are about reaching whites. Yeah. And you know what? I do. And it's a lot of people, oh, I get it from all sides. It doesn't matter. But here's my thing. White folks, and I'll just be really quick because I want to try really hard to stick to the topics. But it's totally fine. My take is this. Look, I do this for me. I come on here and I say what I think and feel based on, my personal experience and whatnot, and my research and my writing and my work when I was a teacher in Compton during the LA riots. But no law is going to change someone's heart. And white people aren't saviors. No. I do this for me because I can't stand watching it and doing nothing and saying, oh, there's nothing I can do. I'm just one person. Well, you know what? I'm just one person, but I'm going to try anyway. So shoot me. Don't. But I'm not sure. It's a tough thing. I realize I'm not, I can't make people act human. And that to me is when people are overtly racist and they discriminate and they uphold systemic racism, that's not acting human. Because let me just explain really fast. See, I'm already off topic. We're humans. We're blessed with this, human thing. That means that we actually get to think, and we don't have to go by our instinct alone and our emotions alone. We actually get to have this awareness, if you will, that we can think and say, I feel like this, but that's, if I really logic it out, that's wrong. And that's, I feel like we're not using that. We're going by our emotions. I don't know if we're not evolved enough, but I can't just watch. So even if I help one person to understand that our real racial history, then I've done something. But I'm not holding my breath. But this matters to me so much. Let me keep going. Thank you, Mind Girl. Non-white people are not a monolith. I will get people who hate me who are Black. It doesn't happen very often. Who are brown, indigenous, African American, or anything of the sort. But also get a lot of people who just appreciate hearing a white person talk, and it's awesome. Not everyone's gonna be into me and my agenda, which is to get white folks to open up their freaking eyes and realize that just because you were born into this doesn't mean you sit and watch helplessly and do nothing. You support true equity and equality. So obviously I'm completely in support of reparations. So my friend Brenda writes, as far as reparations, if every other nationality gets paid for the U.S. wrongdoings, as far as I'm concerned, slavery was the epitome of wrongdoing. 400 years of free labor, 400 years of total mistreatment, 400 years of rape, 400 years of treatment like an animal. As I'm writing this, there's tears in my eyes. As I told you before, my great-grandmother was born into slavery. My grandmother spoke of slavery all the time. And she has firsthand knowledge of what my great-grandma went through, which was told to me by my grandmother. Most white people, and I'm just saying, not saying all, I still reap the benefits. They still reap the benefits of slavery. So I'm just despondent over this country's, this country, the way things are going here. So, and that is my friend Brenda. And I mean, it hasn't been that long, especially when you factor in everything that happened after emancipation. Oh my God. Okay, I said I wasn't going to commentate. I will stop. Lakeisha, let me see. Lakeisha, reparations should be in the form of an anti-hate laws, including getting rid of Black Code slave laws that oppress Black people's progress. Reparations should also be universal basic income. Very, very interesting. You're the first person to bring that up. Universal basic income, and I'm not sure if everybody knows this, and I haven't studied it extensively, but I know what it is. There is a certain, and I'll just quickly, and Lakeisha, definitely jump in. Thank you for that. Universal basic income is an ideology, and I think there's a country that's doing that, I believe, on an experimental basis. It means that there is a certain level of human rights that people, because they're human, are entitled to, and they give a basic income that allows you to sustain at least a lifestyle where you aren't constantly starving, and you aren't constantly in fear of not being able to stay alive and keep your family. And I understand that. Thank you for that comment, Mr. Evans Black. I have a hard time believing these hearings about reparations are genuine. I also hear people beat around the bush and deflect to other groups benefiting instead of descendants of chattel slavery. Yeah, I've heard that too. And yep, thank you. Yeah, I definitely have an opinion on that. Pat, I think reparations should be paid, but the average white supremacist doesn't want Black people to get it all. And it's only with Black people they don't want to pay. Yeah. Interestingly, and I don't want to speak for you, Pat, but interestingly, so many other people, and they had to work for them because, you know what, our nation's run by wealthy white folks who, they want to be rich and they really don't seem to give a shit about anyone else. That's just my opinion. But reparations have been paid. And the one group, and I will say one thing, I told you I wasn't going to give my opinion. I lied. The one thing that I have to say is I cannot think of a group of human beings that have endured more on such a grand basis. And who reparations, I mean, to be honest, there's no amount of reparations that you can't make up for the crimes against humanity that are still happening in this country. But for God's sakes, doing nothing, don't even get me started. Okay. Anton, hello. Anton, hello, beautiful in room. America is the land of the thief, home of the slaves. Fuck this demonic, murderous, fascist, insidious, gluttonous, corrupt society and all its allies. USA under Satan authority. I don't blame you one bit, and I actually read the whole thing this time. Mr. F.S. Black, thank you for being here. Some Blacks are discussing this, are even afraid to say they want monetary reparations. Oh, of course. I mean, this nation's done absolutely everything in its power, and then some, to put the fear of God into Black people. And it's disgusting. It's intimidation. I absolutely believe a lot of people didn't want their names being used tonight. I don't blame them one bit. Great points, everybody. Pat, well, I know what she is talking about because Australia is doing that for the Aboriginals. You're right. We are not, let me just be crystal clear, and this is my opinion, obviously. We are not a moral people here, we white folks. And obviously there are a lot of us who are. But what I'm talking about is the system that white folks created to purposefully keep Black people from accumulating wealth and being part of a society that is basically, our economy is like capitalism, and we kind of pretty much now think it's like our social system too. We have issues. So this is all purposeful. This was on purpose. Redlining, that was no accident. It was a law that said you don't have to treat somebody equally. In fact, you can shit on them, give them nothing, and get away with it. I mean, these laws were on purpose. I think that's what a lot of white folks might not get. This wasn't just like something that happened. This was absolutely as I say, some conspiracies are actually conspiracies. Okay, that's just my take. But Mr. Evans, I'm sorry, but if we're not talking about gaining something tangible, such as money, then all these people are feeding us lip service. Yep. And J. Dizzle Sargent, reparations can also be in the form of lenient or decriminalizing a lot of activities that may be disproportionate against Black men, such as sexual harassment claims. And well, sure. And also, how about, that's a great point. I think, I have a lot that I think about all this, but absolutely fantastic points. Part of my concern is this. I am absolutely pro whatever the majority wants, because I'm here to support, not to run the show, not to say I know best, because I don't. But common sense would indicate that any monetary amount that is decided upon in the end, if we don't stop systemic racism, what the hell? I mean, it's like, here you go, have this, and then we're still doing it. I mean, so part of it really needs to be that we got to stop this stuff. And unfortunately, that leads me to my last opinion I'm going to say. Personally, okay, I lied. I don't believe a word these people are saying. This is all lip service in my mind. This is total BS. I don't believe, not for 1 second, that they're going to do anything. I think there are people who want to, but this is all a charade, in my opinion. Okay, I don't believe them. I don't trust them. And I don't think they're going to do one single thing. But that's just my take, because I'm jaded beyond human understanding. I'm not buying it. Here's the reason, and then I promise I will not talk about my personal opinions. But it just makes me so mad. The white, wealthy folks who run our country and kind of tell the maybe less educated white folks like what to do, and they do it without thinking. I mean, Trump supporters, sorry, I said it, okay? They know exactly what they're doing. If those people running our country wanted systemic racism to be completely dismantled, they'd do it. Notice when they want something done, it gets done. Well, they don't want this done. That's my bottom line. Political charade. Yep. J. Dizzle Sargent. Yep. Agreed. The hearings are only a political charade. And it makes me sick that they're sucking everyone in. And that's my opinion. If you think different, absolutely don't listen to me. I'm going to keep reading, but it's just, these people can get things done when they want to. Ooh, suddenly they don't know what to do. Ooh, they don't know what to do about police murdering Black people with impunity. Yes, they do. They just don't want to. Sorry, God, I get so hyped up over this. Okay, just saying. Let me see here. Reparations can also be in the form of, okay, got that, sorry. Fawn, hi Fawn, thank you. Can't reparations go to Black colleges? Yes, in fact, I believe they did that for a little while. Yep. Yep, great point. Tweez 13 Empress, not a damn thing. Yeah, I don't believe one word they're saying. This is total bullshit, and yeah, I'm not supposed to keep talking. J. Dizzle Sargent, agreed. The hearings are only a political charade, right? Pat, America has never until this day apologized for all the lynchings and wrongdoings that were endured that Black people endured, so they don't have the intention of trying to do anything about this issue. Absolutely not. Agree 100%. Not that you're asking me, but I think this is a joke. I truly believe, I'm sure some of the people who are, putting reparations into their 2020, election stuff, truly believe it, because, they wouldn't be saying it, but the people who run our nation right now, they wanted systemic racism to be taken out of every institution that it is in, because it is in every single institution in this country, and then some. They would have done it. we have solutions. This is not a solutionless, oh, what do we do? This is total BS. They like what's happening and they're keeping it. And I don't think they're going to give up without, they're not going to give it up. They're not. I mean, you guys have seen the nasty, they're all about greed over humanity. It's disgusting. Let me see. So Brenda wrote that. Gary, hello. You aren't the only jaded one. I don't believe the politicians ever will do something to make reparations. If they did, all the white supremacists would be classified as terrorists. Exactly. Thank you so much. Lakeisha, did I see Dark Knight Rising, Kim? No, I did not. I have been so inundated with just keeping up with all the stuff. I don't know how you guys keep up with all that Trump and his clan and supporters are trying to do to our nation, but I can't keep up. I can't. I seriously have trouble. Like I need to. If I didn't have like people like Lakeisha and Pat and Vaughn and oh my God, I know I'm skipping people helping me, sending me. I have hundreds of people sending me things, and each day I get. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. I get inundated with like 20, 30, 40 things a day because they're trying to help me because they want me to know stuff so I can try to put it out there. So, yeah, I can't keep up with anything, but I did get a ton of people writing in today saying, my friend Les from Texas, he says, excuse me, hello, Learn Social Justice. Thank you for being here. Don't forget Johnny Swirl. Tell me more. I'm out of the loop. My friend from Texas writes, I'm surprised we're talking about this more than 100 years after slavery. This person thinks like, what the heck? I personally would love some reparations, but is there a backlash to it? For anything that sounds too good to be true, it's usually a trap. Some people are already doing well, of course. Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Dre, etc. Then there's some, if you give it to them, they might use it unwisely. It might be better to give it at a certain rate per month, or I hate boxes for all we don't, because we all don't belong in them in the same category. I love Roland Martin. He's wise, but I don't know. For me personally, I think it would be wise to make sure that we basically got it for kids, grandkids, and hopefully that would benefit them. Yet I'm worried about the backlash that would come from this. Since we are one of the most hated nationalities on the planet. And it's kind of interesting. I know this person, he's an incredible man. And to think about all these people who have done absolutely nothing wrong or to deserve this kind. I mean, it's unbelievable that people have the audacity to be like, oh, we can't pay rent. It's like, are you kidding me? It's audacity. I don't know what else it is. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's like, talk about turning the tables. We did this. It's like, why is it now, their fault and they deserve nothing? It's just, I don't even get it. It's crazy. It's called white supremacy and greed. But Pat, if they want it to stop, then they would have gotten rid of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. That would be a start. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, a lot of white folks don't realize this whole thing's set up so that they can have, this is just my opinion. I have no clue. Total opinion. But it seems to me, this isn't exactly, a tough thing to see, that what people do is, who are these people in charge, as each year passes, they need to be more and more covert and less overt, and make sure people are still fed propaganda and are still not educated enough to understand. If white folks knew our real racial history, and I know I'm naive, oh my God, it's unbelievable. If they knew our real racial history, you'd be a fool to not understand. I mean, redlining alone, the police and their origins, the compromise of 1877, where the people pulled out and allowed the South to go basically back to treating Black people like they weren't human. I mean, anyway, I'm blabbing again. I will take people. Vaughn, the USA built on blood and slaves. Yeah, great comment. Absolutely. J. Dizzle Sargent, in the end, though, the real way to end racism is simple: make mixed race babies. Yeah, I mean, that is I read this this research paper on that being the, it's like a historical thing. That was the main #1 thing. They did not want to have anybody in the middle because, they wanted to keep it separate with the whole segregation stuff. And that's why even to this day, when a white woman feigns, oh, I'm offended by it, people pounce. It is in our culture. When a white woman says, oh, I've been, it's white tears. It's the same damn thing, but it just kind of like, very funny, learn social justice, ha, 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 ha. And it's kind of funny. I'm not going to put you on the spot because I know you're kidding, of course. But to be honest, not you, but it kind of annoys me when people say that, like, oh, you just like Black people. How could I just like Black people? I don't know all Black people. How about I just like my freaking humans? I like all of them. And when something's unfair, I'm not willing to pretend it's not. And I'm not trying to come down on you. I know that was like, it's because I get so much of, you just hate white people. So I'm a little sensitive to that because it's like, you idiot. Not you, but like proverbially, you freaking moron. Yeah, I hate white people. That's it. I am a white people. That's ridiculous. Hating white people is an excuse to not act human. It doesn't matter what people I hate or don't hate, which is pretty much zero. I expect that people will act human, and when they're not, I expect more of them as a group. But I don't love, anyway, enough about me. Nice comments, learning social justice. You got me all on a rampage here. Okay, now I'm just playing. Learn social justice. The best way to abolish liberalism and I think you're saying is to implement socialism. How did I know you were going to say that? Liberal politics is not the solution. And go ahead and expand on that. Learn social justice. Tell us more, because you are Learn Social Justice. So we need you to educate us. Twizzle13 Empress says no and no. And I'm not sure if she's referring to Learning Social Justice, but if you are, thank you kindly. He is absolutely, no, there's nothing, I don't have that, or whatever that is. Okay, I can't believe I just answered that. Pat, well, sorry. J. Dizzle Sargent, that solution would mean that every white woman of childbearing age needs to be very accepting and agreeable of advances by Black men asking to impregnate them. Racial problems solved in a generation. Explain, let me just look at that again. Explain that once more. Maybe I'm not. That solution. Oh, the solution to having mixed children. Is that maybe what you're referring to? Would mean that white women of childbearing age would need to be very accepting. And, well, I think that today more than ever, there are women who I don't see. My problem is I don't get that whole thing. Like, I don't look at when I look at a man, I don't look at him put him in a category of color. I kind of go by like the personality. So when people say, do you like, people always ask me this is what they asked last time. Do you love Black men? I'm like, I think the question is just like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't even know all Black men. How can I love all Black men? It's like if they asked me if I love all white men, I'd be like, it's the same question. So I don't, but some people I guess think that way. And I don't really get it, but we are turning more, even though we're on a backswing right now with Trump and his Klan, the world is slowly, with a lot of backswing, turning more liberal and open-minded. I don't mean liberal in the sense of like your classification, but more open-minded is what I'm talking about. But yeah, And I think that's where we're headed. We're just on a really, really rough swing towards nationalism right now. And I'm not sure if our country won't make it. I don't know. It might be too late, because white folks in America, we just love our racism. We love our racism. We love our racism more than we love ourselves. Why do I say that? Because, off topic again, we love our racism more than we love ourselves. Simply, it's an observation. Systemic racism is not beneficial for most white folks. The wealthiest ones, sure, but that's like 1 or 2%. Everyone else, it's against our best interest, yet we continue to be sucked in to this lie. So clearly, we love our racism more than we love ourselves. That's just my take. Just my take. Sorry, I'm sort of opinionated. But yeah, I get what you're saying. People would have to be much more open. But you know what? It's happening anyway. What is it? 2040, 2045, most people will be tan, brown, black, non-white. And you know what? It's called evolution. And the fact that, in my opinion, once again, white folks are just afraid. And not everybody, but I'm not going to keep saying not everybody. If you're not, then you know you're not. So I don't have to add you. White folks are just afraid that maybe when they're not the numerical majority, that maybe people will treat white people just as bad as we've treated non-white folks, especially Black people, whose ancestors were forced to endure a non-human status. Maybe a lot of white folks are kind of thinking maybe we don't treat people in the numerical minority well. Imagine that. And I'm saying this kind of like sarcastically, because it's like, in my mind, systemic racism should have been gone. Like, anyway, I'm an idealist, whatever. Let me see. Pat, well, they didn't say that when it came to Indians and Jewish people, so it would not matter that Blacks do with what they get, just pay the reparations. Yeah, I mean, of course they didn't. For some reason, and I don't know why, well, systemic white supremacy, whatever, Black people are in this whole other category, despite the worst crimes against humanity that have been imposed on them for absolutely no reason. And they've done absolutely nothing to deserve this. Yet the group that has the most right to be, we're just lucky Black folks. White people are just lucky Black folks, just want equality and equity and to have a life and not revenge. Because I'll tell you, I don't know, anyway, I'm off topic. I don't think I would be able to take it. Great points. I think I'm going to pronounce your name wrong. Don't hate me for it. Pledge. The Pledgelarius. The Jews got their reparations. Right. Jewish people did get their reparations. Jay Dizzle, of course, Black women can do that for white men as well. Absolutely. Right. And I don't know the stats personally, but I think people are getting much, much more, they're catching on. They're slowly catching on. From everything that I've ever read, we are trending towards like acting more human. It's just this backswing with, I don't know if our country's going to survive it. But yeah, absolutely. But it's going to happen anyway. So yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that argument. Stevie, hello. Thank you for, I don't know how you always get here, but you do. Thank you. Message held. Let me just see here. I am finding my spot. Oh my goodness, a lot of people. I missed a lot of people. Sorry about that. Wow. Okay, found my spot. What happens is every time I click somebody who's got the comment held for being naughty or whatever, it ends up scrolling completely like crazy. That's why I'm lost. Okay. Twizzle 13 Empress. Look at Barack Obama and the racism he took in that White House. Oh my God. Yes. It was unbelievable. It was out of control. And again, if you've just joined this, this just quick live show, it's open mic. We're getting people who are Black, their opinions on reparations and these hearings. Is it a joke? Is it not? Is it serious? You know, give me your take. I'm reading people's comments because a lot of people wrote me and gave me what they thought. And I'm just thrilled to have people here. I just put this together because this is huge. I told people earlier what I thought. And let's just say I'm not holding my breath. But and this will be distributed to as many white folks as possible. They need to hear real people and how this impacts them. It's great to have experts. Absolutely. It's great to do research. But you guys are real people. And the people I'm reading about are my friends and other people, my acquaintances, and people who like to watch the stuff I do. And this matters. Pat, just like Black people, well, that's the typical talk of the white supremacist. Just like Black people. Tell me more, Pat. I don't want to misrepresent you. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure what you mean. I wish this were a call-in show. And if I ever get popular enough, it will be a call-in show because then I'll know what everyone's talking about. I won't be guessing. I apologize. Pelagarius, the Jews got the reparations for something that didn't even happen on our soil. The U.S. government was confused then. Yeah, well, yep, yeah. It didn't even happen on our soil. Good point. Stevie, and the Japanese and the Native Americans. Yep, absolutely. Mr. F is Black. Many HBCUs have 25% of their student body made up of non-Blacks. The first Congressional Society of Washington, D.C. founded Howard University. Thank you, Mr. F S Black. Yeah, there are so many ways to give reparations. Again, I talked earlier about a little bit. I wasn't supposed to because this is not my place. I don't get to say how it goes. I mean, I can be a logical human, but my place as a white person is to support the voices of the people that live this and support. And although Black people aren't a monolith by any means, to support the general best practices. And reparations, that it's even a question, is beyond me. Beyond me, just beyond me. How about this? How about reparations and we stop systemic racism and we dismantle it and we actually allow what our nation is supposed to be about? We have a beautiful constitution that helps us, okay? We rewrite parts of that to put in, see, I'm doing it again, to actually include everybody, and then we do so. But anyway, okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm stopping. I have no control. Okay, so okay. Cool, I was right. Mr. F is Black. So even if reparations were paid to Black colleges, it would eventually be paid back to this country's majority. And that's part of the problem is I personally, I don't know about you, and I'm white. I don't trust our government, not even remotely close. Because like I said earlier, for people who weren't here, we have solutions. We can stop systemic racism. We can end it. We can, lower it. It might not go away completely, but we can definitely lower it. I mean, get it, to a more manageable degree. We just don't want to. This isn't a mystery. It's like the YouTube video that I did on all this research showing the different police departments that have managed to completely almost eliminate killing Black people and non-white folks and people of color. Eliminate them. We know solutions. We just don't want to use them. This is purposeful. So I could scream that from the rooftops. It's on purpose. It's sick. Let me see. Learn social justice. Liberal identity politics are just special interest groups. Whoever has the most lobbyists and money get their policies implemented. Yeah, I mean, and that's obviously really true since there are a number of issues that impact everybody, where 70% plus of Americans 100% agree on, yet we don't have policies that follow that. The government's not working for the people. Okay, I don't even think that's such an obvious thing. They're not working for the people when 70% of the people want something across all politics, and we don't have it. They're paid off. It's horrible. We are run by wealthy people who are greedy and are not going to give up their money or their greed or their power. So we're kind of screwed. Just saying. Okay, and I'd like that soothsayer of doom here, but these people have had a long time to act human. Let me just see here. That's why. Okay. Hilarious. I swear I want to know how to pronounce your name. I'm so embarrassed. Having mixed babies is not going to end racism, right? Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be a simple solution? But I mean, I understand what everyone's saying, but these people are clinging on to, it's bad. Robert, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that's shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. You know, I get what you're saying. I don't believe that, obviously, as a humanist, pacifist, whatever, but I understand people think that. And maybe that is the truth. I don't know. It's just incredibly sad that people can't act human. And I keep saying that, and I'm not trying to hurt people, but as I said earlier, the idea that we are blessed as humans because we don't have to behave and act based and according to our feelings and our hormonal, instincts and whatnot. We get to actually think. So we can feel like killing somebody and we cannot kill them. Okay. And that, I think, one of the main things that differentiates us from animals. Yet we aren't that evolved because a lot of us don't want to think because it hurts. So anyway, I'm blabbing, but it's just, we got to use what we got. And we're lucky enough to have logical abilities to analyze. Let's use them. But I understand, Robert, what you're saying. Twist 13 Empress, right. Hilarious. Look at European mixed footballers who get called monkeys and thrown bananas. Yeah. I mean, we got this. This is obviously not just our country. We got this bad. I read an article today that was terrifying because it gave all of my worst fears like kind of some credibility, in that the Trump supporters who still support a man who is pretty much doing everything he humanly can to circumvent equality, to circumvent the letter of the law, and to make sure that groups that are marginalized are further marginalized. This article said that they don't really like him per se. They just love white supremacy and they like feeling special and like they're the best. And I'm like, oh my God. It was a total article from a legit, source. And psychologically, it's just absolutely got to be what it is anyway, because white people know they're not superior. It's like, come on. It's like white people know they're not superior. God, I don't want to get into it. But so it's this, they feel so bad about themselves or something. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Let me continue to read. I have tons of stuff to read. Let me see. Jesus, it might not solve all the issues, but a significant resolution. Well, I mean, people are going to have to, right? I mean, it's going to be a combination. This isn't going to be easy. As everyone knows, mixed race babies tend to be a lot cuter than average. I know, I swear to God, it's true. It's true. Mr. F.S. Black. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to have to back. Oh my goodness. I lost my spot. Whenever I lose my spot, it just goes. Let me find it. Sorry about that. Mr. F. Black. Very true, since mixed children still don't get accepted. Hell, Obama's mother is white, yet white people aren't claiming him like black people are. Yeah. See, everyone's like, Obama is a black. No, he is a man whose one parent is called black. The other one's called white. Right. Exactly. It's the whole thing's just it's sheer insanity. We made up the terms anyway, the white people, so we could be rotten. Linda, thank you for being here. My girl, racism absolutely benefits whites across the financial spectrum. What are the aspects of white privilege? I'm not sure if you're asking me, but I mean, absolutely. If you are white, you are benefiting and have benefited from everything, every last one of us. If you're the most impoverished one on the planet, you might not have as many benefits, but you still have times when you will be given people, when they question you, there'll be a doubt in their mind, the benefit of the doubt, I'll call it. You'll be given the benefit of the doubt. Whereas if you are not, you won't. And that's the lowest implicit bias level. But the benefit of the doubt, this whole thing is just nuts. Anton, this country will never give black people DOAS reparations because they know that the black communities will surpass them. Money is a tool of control. Absolutely. When I think about what people have accomplished, black, brown, indigenous, African-American, a mix of mixed heritage, what they've accomplished despite these laws for centuries trying to bring them down. It's almost like a miracle. It's like unbelievable. Yep. Great point. Good point, Anton. Lakeisha, can black people get reparations if they're in interracial marriage? You know what? I have no clue. So far, they're not doing anything. So, good question. Linda says, hi to you. Jay Dizzle, that's the reparations payment. Yeah, reparations is, I believe, I think in general, and I don't know a ton about this. I'm not an expert by any means. I've read a ton about it, but I'm not an expert. Is somehow a way you can never pay back someone for their historical cruelties and crimes against humanity. Give me a break. Give me a bazillion dollars. You're still not going to pay. There's no dollar amount for what we've done. But because people had all these horrific things and still do have them done, they were all things that stopped black people from accumulating wealth. And in this society that we live in, the capitalism with the economy and everything, if you can't accumulate wealth, you can't really succeed as well. So, duh, right? So that's kind of what the point is. But obviously, nothing will ever make that up. But you know what? Money does go a long ways. Let me see here. I have Twist 13 Empress, Lakeisha, would say no blacks interracial wealth usually goes back to the white side under the system of white terrorism. I mean, I don't know exactly, but sounds about right. Sounds about white, like people say. Yeah. Let me just every time. Great point, says Linda. Gary, Trump's hero Hitler considered France a Negroid nation because they had colonies in Africa. Damn, good point. Linda, I'm going to listen this round and learn. Oh, that's wonderful. I am too. I've had more people write to me today and tell me what they think, and I love it. Joey, we're going to have another civil war to get our point through. In many ways, I feel like maybe the Civil War never ended and was resolved. Think about how quickly, the minute we pulled troops out of the southern states, it was like the day and night, the horrific atrocities that began. I was reading a little bit about some history about, it seemed like things were kind of taken off a little bit. But the minute, I mean, it just went downhill. The minute the Compromise of 1877, it's over. Is disastrous. It was the worst thing. I don't know. From everything I've read, it just seems like it was horrible. Yeah, I don't know, Joey. I don't know. My question is this: how long do a people have to wait to get treated like humans? How long? It's ridiculous. Linda, Central Missouri screams racism in small towns. Go up a local yokel bar. It's sick, just freaking ignorance and refusal to see, hear, believe anything that hasn't been passed down from, pass it down from generation. And it's a cycle of racism is a cycle. It's a gift. The gift of anti-racism is something you give to your children. Because of our society of white supremacy, in my very opinionated white person opinion, we're never going to have no implicit bias, because until we dismantle the system. But you can sure lower it down by not teaching your children to be inhumane and evil. I mean, there's that. Our values. We have white America in general. Just look who we have as president. It says it all. If our values weren't white supremacy, we wouldn't have him. So anyway, just my take. Robert, the world starts black and will go back to being black. Probably. Lakeisha, white Europeans have been so disrespectful to our people, our culture, and the deaths of our ancestors will soon be avenged by civil war if we don't get paid what is due, and it's reparations. And Lakeisha, I totally get what you're saying, but I'm afraid that the white folks, and this is just my take, don't get that like reparations is just the beginning. We have to dismantle these systems. I mean, maybe if that's what you mean by reparations, but I mean, like money is one thing, but the system has to be taken down, or a couple generations. White folks aren't going to allow this. They're not going to let people succeed. It's sick. And the influence they have over the ignorant white folks is terrible. They make them believe lies. They make them believe black people are the cause of their problems when it couldn't be less true. It couldn't be less true. It's just, anyway, Linda, I hope not civil war. It didn't solve much, only in words, but not actions. Yeah, I mean, this nation never came to terms with the cruelties. Half the white adults in America don't even think racism is alive in America. We are, like I tell the white folks that I work with, think about where you think we are here racism-wise, multiplied by a bazillion, gazillion. It doesn't even exist. That number doesn't exist. And you might possibly be getting close. It's like Obama said, it's in the air we breathe. So, Lakeisha, Robert H. Yes, it will be black again by 2049. Right, somewhere around there, right? Because no offense to Kim, it's not offense to me, but white folks are dying at alarming rates because of the sun, and white people have no melanin. Yeah, if it's not offensive to me, I'm more like a realist. I think, something, it's got to impact something, because we are turning brown. And I think, again, like I said earlier, that's probably why a lot of this is so on the 6-6 swing. We're swinging all the way back to having Trump and nationalism and all this stuff, is because I know it swings back and forth. As I said before, I don't know if we're going to be able to if our nation is going to survive this. But great points. Yeah, you don't offend me at all. It's true. The truth does not offend me. I actually believe in the word offend. I don't believe in that word. Nobody offends me. Thank you, though. You're very sweet. I knew what you meant. Yes, Robert, the change in the abortion laws. Absolutely. I did a video on it. Anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, go watch that video. Basically, it has Jane Elliott in it. She explains the entire thing. She explains exactly why we have these abortion laws. And it's to try to keep America white. It's the sickest thing. I'm going to read one person that I respect very, very highly. Sent me something, and he's the only person I took that actually gave somebody else's stuff, and I included it because the guy's brilliant. How America Can Pay Reparations. He wanted me to read this to Black people, and this is somebody else's idea, but he absolutely supports this. Number one, eliminate cannabis license fees and award grants to Black cannabis entrepreneurs. Federal government set aside funds to cover licensing fees, grants up to $250,000 and awards low interest federally backed loans up to $500,000. So that's the details. This would be a path to the industry for Black felons and people who have been basically had their lives taken away. Number two, cover down payment expenses for first-time Black homebuyers. 3, increase Social Security payment for Black seniors. 4, provide pathways to federally sanctioned clemency for Black felon tax. And forgive Black students loans, debts, and make higher education free for Black students. And 6, award startup grants to Black entrepreneurs. So those are all ideas. And everyone's going to have a different idea, but those were his. And we have to tend to the money, and all that is awesome, but if the systemic racism is still left in place, how many generations is it going to last? How many people think that white folks aren't going to do what we do? And I say we, I do not mean everybody. I mean the white folks who are the oligarchy, who are upholding all this and not educating the less economically secure white folks and making them believe propaganda and lies. So that they won't unite with the people in historically marginalized groups, and we can't all come together and get rid of this oligarchy of people who are wealthy and racist as fuck. Okay, just my opinion. Yeah, that's why they changed the abortion laws. Right, Pat, Blacks need to be in a protected class. Right, and absolutely. Yeah. Joey, praise the sun. Sounds good to me. I don't really know what that means, but hey, I'm going with it. One of my friends wrote and sent this in. One friend sent this to me. They believe it's from Mind Gorilla. I don't know if you guys follow that. Yet there's such an eternal debate. That there is such an eternal debate in the first place among Americans is a sad commentary on how far back we've gone from that brief moment in time when everyone was involved, from the presidency on down, in the process of ensuring that we do the right thing in this country. Now, I don't really remember a time like that, but this is their take. I do remember a time when you could actually make a lemonade stand and maybe you could be an entrepreneur and expect to maybe, I mean, I'm saying that as kind of cliche, but I remember a time when you could tell your kid you can grow up to be anything you want. Not now. It's like you can get really, really lucky and do it, but I'm sorry. We are run, like I said earlier, we are not in charge of our government. The people are not voting. What the people want, 70% of the people want, I don't know, how about affordable health care? We don't have it. 70% plus of people want, let's think of something. 70% of the people want to be able to have reasonable, common sense gun laws. That's across the board. We don't have those. So our government is not working for the people. And I think that's an important point. Let me see. Linda, yeah, mainstream media. Person, I can't pronounce your name. White supremacy is at its finest. War, labor, politics, economics, entertainment, law, religion, sex, and education. Everything leads back to white supremacy in this country. And I'm only kind of focused on our country, but I know a lot in the world. That is why it just, it has to stop. Follow the money, and it leads back to benefiting. I mean, from the private prisons to the wars we start with people who are not white, who are brown, to people making lots of money off of other people's misery. It's unbelievable. Anton, I have absolutely no faith in this country. Anything the government gives you, they can take away. Yeah, I'm afraid they'll just take it away. Lakeisha, Kim, you're now doing 2 shows a week. I'm trying really hard to do 2 shows a week. My goal is this. Lakeisha, thanks for asking. My goal is to keep the format of the Wednesday show, keep having different hosts and people come in who are experts and talk, and on the ideas of the week and, ongoing things regarding racism, bigotry, and inequality. And have this show, I want to turn it into a roundtable where I have nothing to do with it, but just kind of like get everyone together. I want basically, say, excuse me, it's not your turn, maybe to somebody, if they like won't shut up the whole time, but I want to have different people doing a roundtable, just talking about real things. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I'm trying to do 2 shows a week. I am, because I figure if not now, when? I mean, this nation is a mess. So thanks for asking. Linda, now they charge kids taxes on those stands. Oh, I know. It's like, what? Right. Very good. Joseph Morgan. Oh, I've been subscribed to you for a while, but it's the first time catching you on live YouTube. I actually wish you were live on Facebook also, so a lot of my Facebook friends can listen and learn. Thank you. You know what, Joseph, you are a total sweetheart. You have no idea what that means to me. I have a special engineer who is going to be doing that. And I've been trying to get him to do it for a week, but he's really busy because I'm demanding. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stream from both. And I am, and it's going to be totally simple. And thank you. I can't wait. Because actually, most of the people that are my friends and that are in my communities that I run, they're all on, they're actually all on Facebook. I have just like tons of them on Facebook. And YouTube's new to me. I've really been working on it for a year only. So I'm totally jazzed. I really want to do this to have both streams. And it'll be pretty simple. I think I'll actually have both streams together. People can talk, so I'm excited. Thank you. Great suggestion. Thanks. I'm getting there. Just got to put a little pressure on that engineer. Thanks for saying something, Joseph. Pat, the bottom line is they never want blacks to succeed in this country. It's been proven here, and this is why America never apologized for slavery, because they don't want to change. Yeah, and that's the bottom line, is that they don't want to change. Because how do we know this? If we wanted to change, we would. It would be done in a heartbeat. And that's why, for me, the reparations thing is this is just my opinion from what I saw. As a white person looking in, they're full of shit. They're not serious. No way. And the black people that I listened to and learned from, who are, kind of famous people and stuff like that, they're all kind of, this is a joke. And part of the problem is, okay, like I always use this analogy, and hope people aren't getting sick of it, but it's like punching your spouse in the face and telling them to forgive you for being abusive. We're still doing it. So why would we give reparations if we're still abusing the people who are going to get through it? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not good. All right, I hope I'm not explaining things well. Lakeisha, making money off of our people suffering is despicable, and I consider it a crime against nature. Yeah, I always say crime against humanity. Yeah, but that's the same. Yeah, white people played trickology on our black ancestors to steal and kill and destroy the first humans on Earth. Yeah, no, it's Lakeisha, it's enraging. It's unconscionable. I personally, not to make it about me, but I don't think this is an even issue. This shouldn't be a debate. We shouldn't be talking about this. It should have been solved so long ago. And maybe I'm being naive. Sure, I am. And ideal. But in my mind, this isn't a debatable issue. It's so crystal clear. It's not debatable. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Thanks, Lakeisha, for OG Dread 74. Hello. Why expect reparations when they're still attacking it? Exactly. It's still happening. Right. Linda, Facebook sucks. Necessary evil. Yeah, that's funny. You still got got caught on that by YouTube. So I guess they're catching on to the little SUX. That's funny. Yes, and I did a video on that too. The reason is they keep they're racist because what they do is they keep all groups as groups that are equally marginalized. Well, that's just not the way life is. It's not true. So they protect white men and white women and wealthy white men the same as they protect a economically impoverished numerical majority person who's black, brown, indigenous. So it's very strange. And I've read about that, and that's pretty obvious when people who stand up for the truth get booted off of Facebook continuously in Facebook jail. By speaking our true history, we are somehow offending. And I have some problems with that. But a lot of, unfortunately, or for good or for bad, most of the people who follow what I do are on Facebook. So it's kind of a weird, just happens to be. Pat, this is why they never wanted to put any black person on our money, but yet everyone on our money has owned slaves. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, you corrected it. This is why they've never wanted to put any black person, give any black person money, yet everyone who owned slaves had reparations. I think that's what, tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, they gave reparations to people for owning human beings. Oh my God. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yes, I love that. I'm not here to teach people who are living it. So I love when you teach the audience too, because the audience is eventually going to be more white folks who don't know, and they want to learn because they'll be watching. It's my hope, at least. So, OG Dread 74, slave ownership got reparations, 300 for each slave and about 8,000 in today's money. Yep, absolutely. That's, oh my God, just wrap your head around that, or don't. Wasp Bread, hello, welcome to the show. We're talking about what we think about reparations and what the hearings are and what's going on. And I have a lot to read. The next person, one of my friends just said, LOL, haha, no rush. It's only been 150 plus years, haha. So that was my friend. And actually, he was here earlier. The next comment is from a U.S. Marine veteran who allowed me to use his name, David Lafayette from Charleston, South Carolina. And just to let you know who this person is, he spent 8.5 years in the Marines, went to Iraq twice and Afghanistan on rotation for about a year. He spent a lot of his time trying to convert and all the things he saw overseas and in the Marines, trying to create working processes for the civilian sector. So he has a very unique point of view. And this is what he said. He said, I always tell people to think of what you would add to a welfare program. I'm just going to scooch this over a little bit. Add to a welfare program to make it truly effective. I've noticed these programs will easily trap people. And he wrote a lot, so I had to abridge it a little, but he had great points. They will entrap people and make them fully dependent on government help. Giving money for free, in a sense, will psychologically create laziness and dependency, in this person's opinion, in most poor, struggling people. And for the smartest government not to know that is just silly to me. Essentially what he's trying to say is that we need to be, people who get reparations need to be educated in finances and how to not lose it. I think that's what he's trying to say. So he's saying, so welfare to me is kind of a guide to see the effects of just giving money without financially educating the people. That makes sense. Look at the NFL players, he says, that make millions. They retire, they go bankrupt because they've never learned how to budget and save and how to handle the money. Savings and budgeting is a learned habit, not an instinct. You have to be taught. We know it's needed. Welfare is needed because there will be more dead homeless without it, but it's missing the often needed education package. And again, his point is money's nice, but if the people, don't know what to do with it, I guess. This is his comments. This is not mine, but I'm reading his because he is a Black man who has something to say, and he has a unique perspective. We can see simply giving a capped amount of money, often free housing and food to people who possibly will never know how to spend it. It's kind of a setup in a way. Reparations could be helpful to the economy because we are going to spend it for sure. But our culture as a whole needs to be more than just money, because it doesn't matter how rich you get. If you lose it all, then you don't know how to manage your money. If reparations or government doesn't come with programs to help rebuild the family structure, teach finance literacy, savings, budgeting, credit, etc., then it's a trap, because welfare with its free money, housing, and food is needed. But it keeps the majority of single mothers on the bottom and stuck on government help. And that's what he's basically talking about, is that it can't just be here's some money. I think, and I don't want to speak for him, but I read it over a bunch of times, and I think that's kind of what he was trying to say. Wasp Red, sorry I was late. I was talking on Detroit radio. Oh, that's cool. You got to tell us about that. Oh, you're fine. I'm not going to be able to keep this going too much longer, because I told everybody I would end it at 10, and it's past, of course, because I blab. Moppy, hello. Thanks for being here. But I will keep going as long as I can. Gloria, did they educate the other people? Good question. That's a good question. I mean, it's kind of part of the problem is this, and I'm going to speak off the cuff here. As a white person, it's not my place to tell you what you should and shouldn't get to help you. It's not my place. It's out of my lane. That's not. White folks have had hundreds of years to stop the system we created, and we haven't. It's not our place. So I think, and Gloria, I'm not 100% sure what you're saying. I'm just kind of guessing, so I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying. But I think you're saying is like, are the white people going to teach us how to, do it? Well, see, here's the thing. Black people can teach them how. We don't, it's not our place. We don't lead this. We lost our chance. The ship has sailed a long time ago. And if I'm misrepresenting you, Gloria, let me know. But yeah, it's not that, like I said, when I started this conversation, I'm here to help people get their voices heard. Okay. It's not fair that everyone's voices are heard equally, but that's where we're at. I'm not here to lead. I'm here to support what generally Black folks in America want. And that's hard because they're not a monolith. Everyone's got their own independent, educated opinion. So, but in general, we all know systemic racism is just, there's some general things that I don't think anybody would honestly be able to, maybe there'd be a few, but there's a lot of commonality. Joey, I will just take my 40 acres and a mule. Yeah, and you know what? That was promised, and that was lied and not given. And the accumulated value of that alone matters. Reparations shouldn't even be a question. And I know a lot of people, white people, are like, oh, how dare you? Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just speaking the truth from as I see it. And yeah, it's not even close. If there's a group in this country who deserves something, it's Black people whose ancestors were kidnapped and forced into a non-human status and enslaved and treated like total shit, worse than human. They were treated like they didn't matter. The cruelties and the barbaric crimes against humanity are just, I can't even, it's unbelievable. Kim, I was saying this is from Pat. This is why they never want to put any Black person on our money. But yet everyone who is on our money owned slaves, but they didn't want a Black person on it. Yeah, that in and of itself is statement enough to, yeah. They're speaking, it's kind of funny. People say, how did America get like this? It's like, No, 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 no. America with a president and the followers and the overt racism and the out of control marginalization of pretty much anyone who's not white and fairly well off, actually. It is who we are 100%. That is who we are. This is the most consistent we've ever been, having a president like this. And it's disgusting, but it's true. Okay. Before, we were all pretending, you know, the white folks, oh, liberty and justice for all. It's like, really? No, liberty and justice if you're white, and more if you're really rich. So it's just, now we're really consistent. There's no cognitive dissonance at all. We have a person who actually upholds our real values, which is greed over humanity, systemic racism, bigotry, and inequality. So just saying. Pat, I totally know. I know what you're saying. Gloria, cut the check. Don't worry about educating the people. Yeah, it's like an insult. Like, yeah, it's like, right. The white folks want to be the saviors. So we're going to teach you how to. Yeah, in your system that you. It's like somebody told me the other day that Black people should be lucky. We're the ones who got them freed. And I'm like, oh my God, you did not just say that. That's like beating someone up and stopping and saying they should thank you that you stopped. No, you did it to begin with. So don't get me on a rampage. But yeah, that just reminded me. Linda, yep, entrapment. I agree. Kick into poverty and keep kicking someone to keep them down. Pat, oh my goodness. Let me see here. Pat, most people don't know that the Monticello slave plantation is printed on our money. Yes, Pat taught me that the other day. I had no idea. That's the slave plantation, and from Monticello on the nickel, on the back of the nickel. And that's going to be in my next video. I'm going to do a quick plug because I'm going to answer some more questions. And I have not gotten to everybody's comments that let me just see here, 3, 4, missing people's comments. I want to get to everybody's. Goodness. But what I want to also do is read. Let me just find where I'm at. Okay. Linda didn't know that. Gloria, that guy says that Black people need to be educated about money. Right. Whoever said that was kind of maybe implying that. Yeah. And he's a Black guy too. He's just, I think his fear is that he says he's using welfare. You heard him. I mean, he's using welfare as an example, and he feels like the poorest people are, I guess he's saying, are also the poorest educated with regards to money. You're right. That's what he's saying, pretty much. But he's using that as a model, and it's not necessarily true. He's kind of, remember, it's his take. And so maybe he knows like a lot of people. And you know, again, there's a danger in having open forums like this where everybody's not the world's expert. But this is meant to give a feel for what people are talking about. So when white folks who are new to this learning can just listen. That's all. It's not, clearly there are experts in the field, left and right, and they're all over the news, and PhDs who write books and lecture and work in, you know, as professors and very, very educated people who know way more about this. But this is impacting the real people who live, and, you know, maybe you're not a professor and this is not your field, which is perfectly understandable. Maybe you're a doctor and you have no clue what all this, you know, all the intricacies and the details. This is a lot of damn history. So that's why I had this, is for the people who need to be able to voice their say. So I hope that's, so I purposely didn't want somebody sitting here teaching like a, you know, who's a PhD. I wanted to know what you guys think. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's a lot of people here. Gary, great to something Facebook. I have several friends that have, oh, great to do on Facebook. I have several friends that have watched but cannot comment because they have no YouTube account. Oh, that's right. I guess you do. I'm so bad with YouTube, Gary. It's pathetic. Yeah, I guess you have to have a YouTube account. I'm the worst. That's why I have a special helper engineer. Joseph, thanks. Great point. Thank you, Gary. I'm really excited about it. I hope people want to, want to do it. Joseph, I just wish schools would educate kids and people on real history, just as Jane Elliott says, schools are not educating anything. Absolutely. And it's, Joseph, awesome point. And it's absolutely purposeful. Absolutely purposeful. Wasp bread. I hate when people say someone should be lucky. That makes no sense. They mean to say happy. No one can make themselves lucky. Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep. Gotcha. For a second, and then thanks for clarifying that. Pat, that's why the Constitution said we the people. But you have to ask what people, because they're not talking about Black people. And when that Constitution was written, we the people, they were not talking about Black people. And that's why I talk of dismantling it, because this is a Constitution. Obviously, no one's running out and dismantling the Constitution, but there are things in it. It wasn't written with Black people's equality and freedom in mind. That was a whole nother amendment, and that is something that speaks volumes. Let me see. Joey, who led the plantation, ma'am? Not sure what you mean. Maybe let me just go back to Joey. I'm not sure what you mean 100%. Maybe elaborate on that. Wasp, did you read the one from Facebook? Yeah, the one, that was the one from Facebook. If that's what you're talking about, Wasp Bread, that was the a lot of the people from Facebook wrote and had me say things. Is that what you mean? Or am I losing it here? Joey, the plantation on the nickel. Yeah. Joseph, schools still teach Christopher Columbus discovered America when he didn't even step foot on American soil. Yeah, it's all whitewash history. It's like a joke. And they don't want to teach real history, because then people, like I said, a lot of my videos on this YouTube channel, Angry Soccer Mom, are simply history. They're just history. It's not anything more than just plain history that never has been told. So that's what a lot of them are. Let me just see here. Oh my gosh, it scrolled up again. Sorry. Great points, Joseph. OG Dread 74, even if Black people stuck to the stereotype and spent all their money in cars, jewelry, and clothes, it would still help the economy. Absolutely. And that is the stereotype. And you're right. I know a lot of people are kind of probably taking what that one fellow said as, wow, he's saying Black people don't know how to handle their money. Well, that was his perspective. I'm not sure if he's really trying to say that, or he's just using this, it's really hard to get a global view when you're you in your little kind of microcosm. There's a lot to learn. So yeah, but I know what you're saying. You guys are absolutely, I understand. Let me see. Pat, well, you have a lot more whites on welfare than Blacks, because if it was more Blacks, it would be cut out. 100% yes. And that's the thing. When we compare something like that, fantastic point, Pat, because when we compare something like that to actually the idea that racism is not good for white people either, it's a real classic thing. Because you're right. If more Black folks were on it, numerically, they would try to stop it, because that's what we do. And it's just education. People just don't get it. I have a jar right here. See this jar? I have this jar. I want to fill it up with the numerical majority and the numerical minority. And I want to show people that the difference between the percentages of people based on me just randomly pulling things out, or me being racist and pulling out. I want to explain that there are still more white people on this, despite maybe the percentages are higher slightly for Black people, but there are still way more white people. So people don't quite get that. So it's education. Let me read some of these. So great, good point. Linda, sad part is how much is how much contributions to society Black people were denied, as well as if we could have ditched systemic racism centuries ago, we could have been a unified society. Imagine that. Oh my God. Linda, what makes me personally the most enraged is the loss of opportunity, the loss of what we could have been. Yes, we conquered and colonized. Yes, we enslaved. Yes, we did horrific things. But just think, if we could just somehow stop and say we did horrible things, but we're going to make that stop now. This nation could be amazing. And that is why I get so upset. People think I hate white people. People think I don't love America. It's no, I see in my mind, this nation could be amazing. It could be amazing. But we just don't want it to be, because that would mean white supremacy would have to stop. It's just my take. And that's what's going to lead me to my grave. Just thinking of the loss of, God, the brilliant, today in America, and this is totally off topic, there is one strong indication based on researched, peer-reviewed, researched, real social science, one indication if you're going to pass college, and one only that stands out above the rest. You might think it's how smart somebody is. Go to college, really smart. Nope. You might think it's how hard they study. Nope. You might think it's if they live near the college. You might think if their parents were educated. No, 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 no. The number one thing that matters if somebody is going to get through college and get a degree today in America is how wealthy your parents are. And that is it. If you are brilliant, okay, your chances are still not as good as a freaking moron whose parents are wealthy. Okay, I'm sorry to put it that way. Okay, that is our values in America. That is what we value. And that is disgusting. We have kids who are impoverished, who are brilliant. They could be making this country with their minds, but some of them will not pass college even because of this is our values. I'm not really explaining it well, and I'm going to just shut up now, but I was supposed to be quiet like 31 minutes ago. Okay. So yes, Linda, great points. Did you read mine from Facebook? Oh, okay, you're not going to believe this, but I don't know who you are from Facebook because Wasp Red isn't. So it's like I never know who anyone is on. I never know who anyone is. I've read a bunch. Let me read one more. I've read a bunch, but I can't name the people that I've read because I'm not supposed to tell their names. So let me see here. I will read one more. We need, and this is what this person says, we need reparations for Jim Crow as well. We're all slaves. We weren't all slaves as well. A lot were already here. We need repatriation. We need more than money. And the money is $64 trillion. Greed. Oops, let me just scooch this over so I can read the entire thing. I'm not sure if I read yours, and that's why I'm going to read a couple more. Hopefully I did. And I'm going to put the video out so you'll be able to tell. We need more than money. The money is $64 trillion, greed included. Black people, we have to fix ourselves first, though. We have to organize ourselves and fix everything, all the psychological damage from terrorism. The terrorism goes on today. It has to stop. But can you make someone else stop being racist? I don't think that will happen before, if we ever get reparations. And they will try to buy us off with a Happy Meal, a piece of a Happy Meal, Peace for a year, and Nikes for a year. We need our own communities to be turned into neighborhoods and all networking while owning them, land and sovereignty. We will need hashtag good white folks. Yes, I know that people like Dr. Umar and others say, I know what they say about that, and other ethnicities that will work with us and not want to destroy us. This is my opinion. Thank you for asking. Tell them my name. Oh my gosh. And I didn't. Oh my gosh. That person's going to kill me, whoever it was. Tell them my name. I didn't. I cannot believe I didn't read the very, very last part. I am so sorry. Oh, Errol. Yay. Okay. Let me see. I'm not sure if I got to yours yet. Because I kept all the names off. So, oh my goodness. Let me just see. I will read one more. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. I had to actually make a couple of these smaller because there were people had so much to say. Another friend wrote, approximately 30 years after the start of the drug war, states have started to legalize the recreation and medical use of marijuana. Communities of color still disproportionately are incarcerated and harassed by law enforcement, leaving the ability for households to be stable with two-parent income a rarity. Decades after passing affirmative action in education and employment, disproportionate numbers of people are wrongly arrested and labeled felons, are unable to get up and move up in jobs because of their criminal record. These are all great points. Republican Congress people are still trying to remove the protections of affirmative actions. While in the age of big data and social media, we have proven that schools, employers, banks, and lenders still target African Americans for higher interest rates and low to no pay. We're still doing it, I think, is the point this person had. And half a century after the end of segregation, we have seen a resurgence of Jim Crow, as many everyday people have been fed ignorance and hate enough that they fight and they shoot people for knocking on doors or just walking around. I mean, we have police murdering people for existing, and white people calling police for Black people existing. Those same people became law enforcement officers, judges, lawyers, and carry those negative ideas into their policing, their street justice, their brutality of Black people based on their skin color. These are my reasons for reparations. And I don't think I was supposed to read that other part, but I did anyway. And this guy is very knowledgeable. I know who this is. No person of color is untouched by the history of racism and violence in America. America was born and built on the backs with our blood. She has flourished by feeding on mounting labor, and found joy in our torture and perceived subservient nature. Reparations would give what reparations would give is the ability to build generalized wealth stolen from us by the U.S. government after emancipation. It would give us the ability to build our own schools that teach children their history and ties to the motherland. It would give us the ability to build proper gardens and food sources in the communities. Also funding proper jobs, community building platforms to reverse the poverty and the poison that's plagued so many Black communities. Most of all, it would give us the ability to leave this place if we decided that building another Black Wall Street is just not in our best interest. And it would also be too hard to see people burn it down again. So there's a lot. This is a very, very, like I need to say it, emotional issue. Another person said, I can only read half of what this person said. Most races have gotten reparations except Blacks. Then there are other races that have the balls to look down on us because as a race, we have less than them. And they only have more than us because the US government gave them a huge head start. And that was another person. Another person said, yes, every other race has been compensated. However, you can't really put an amount on the evil of this government and the people, what they've done. Another comment, one friend said, these are my reasons for reparations. No person of color is untouched by the history of racism and violence in America. America was born and built on the backs with our blood. She has flourished by feeding. Okay, I put this twice. Sorry, my mistake. I was rushing so quickly because I got so many. Yep, okay. I'm back. One person wrote, I'm 100% pro-reparations in regards to chattel slavery, Jim Crow, and the many events of terrorism throughout American history against Black people. I figure that's a proper take, given that there are people who seem to act almost as political vassals, specifying for white conservatives, even if they may be bigots, or rather people who think they can dismiss the notion that Black people must receive reparations. As I said before, I don't even think it's not a point of argument. It should happen. And my last one, honestly, they will never give us anything. The oppressor will never give up power. It must be taken. Reparations would cripple the global economy, and they know it. This country has never endeavored to have a functioning Black or African American person, and never will, because once we are not second-class citizens, what would America be? And now I will take your comments. So that was all the folks that I had. And there were more. I literally couldn't get to them in time. So if you are still here listening, I will find my spot and we will keep going. Let me see. While you are here, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, and if you believe it's way past time for white Americans to take some racial responsibility, please support me by subscribing, getting your friends to subscribe, and watch the videos. Tell me what you think. Every one of them has comments, and I will write you back on every single last one. I want to know what you think. Give me suggestions. I do interviews with people who have unique and amazing things to say. My last interview, I did one with Dixon White a while back. He was amazing. I did one with my friend Thomas, who was a former leader of the Mississippi Aryan Brotherhood. He's an incredible man. I love doing not live videos, I guess, like not real time videos. And what I do is, just to let you know, the people that I do videos with, my agreement with them is at any time they can bail and I will toss it. This isn't about me and my like, oh, I did this great interview with this person. They get to watch the edit. They get to see everything at the last minute. If they hate it, it goes away. I'm not here to embarrass people or do anything. If they just change their mind, that's perfectly fine. My integrity is everything to me. And I get a verbal contract with them when I can use it, the final copy. And if I don't get that, I don't use it. Okay. This means a lot to me. It means more than, oh, yay, I get to have this great community. It means, to me, it means I can have people trust me. And that matters. So I will keep reading. I'm not perfect, but I do the best I can. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, I did get through some people. Let me just see. Wasp Bread, I'm not sure. I read everyone I had, so yours must have been on there. Okay. And I don't know if it was earlier. If I skipped yours, I will be devastated. I'll do just a show just for you. I was scrambling like you would not believe, because I got inundated with so many people's things. The person, I can't pronounce their name and it's killing me. This is why I'm no longer a Christian, because they gave us the Bible to enslave us. Black people need to burn the Bible. I know a lot of Black folks who feel that way. Like, yeah, let's force the enslaved human to read the Bible on Sunday so you can beat them and torture them all the rest of the days. It's so sick. And I'm not putting down folks who believe in their faith and it's been passed down, but that whole thing, obviously I'm agnostic. There's a reason. But anyway, won't go there, at least not here. But yeah, I understand. Linda, I tend to have utopia dreams. I know it's stupid, but I just see so much loss when there could have been so much gain. Linda, I'm the same way. Maybe it's because my white privilege, maybe because I'm arrogant. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because I was born, I'm a dreamer. I hope for me is the strongest emotion. And when there's no hope, there's nothing. And I can't go there. I don't blame people if they have no hope, but I can't let myself go there. And I shouldn't. Because honestly, white folks need to take racial responsibility. It's just my feeling. And it's not that hard. You just educate yourself and then educate other white people. This is not like this burden. It's just not. It's only a burden if you think it's a burden, and that's a whole other story. It means that you want to be a white supremacist, I guess. I don't know. I'm just blabbing. Linda, I'm the same way. Pat, there's only one black man. There was only one black man that was there when the Constitution was written. So if you look on the back of a $2 bill, 1 out of 14 people on that $2 bill was black. Interesting. You seriously know money, Pat. It's amazing. OG Dread 74. With all the things Black people invented while being denied education for hundreds of years, the world would have been a better place right now. Absolutely. In my mind, see, I kind of look at it globally, and there's never marginalizing humans is never in the best interest of a society at large. That's just my take. Never. It can't be. Great point. Joey, people are still around in Jim Crow. And Linda, yes. And Linda, GMN. I don't know what that means. I probably should, but I am going to say good night. I'm going to try to do, for my biggest goal right now is to try to build my YouTube channel so that we can get it to people who would never get these kind of videos, and they can get educated or at least start thinking. It's a very steep learning curve, and it's lifelong for white folks, as you all know. Gloria, don't burn your Bibles. The Bible is the book of the world. The enemy of Black people used the Bible as a weapon. We need to read the Bible. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And again, I'm agnostic, but I think that's a really good way to look at it. They did use it. And that's what people do. People who want, it doesn't matter what faith, you are pretending to be. If you use your, and this is my take, this is the white privileged woman here take, who's agnostic. If you use your religion to justify your cruelty and hatred, I think you're doing it wrong. I'm just saying, just my take. If you use your religion as a shield for your cruelty to your fellow humans, wow, you're not really that religion, are you? It's just an excuse. Just my take. I'm pretty hardcore with that. Pat, there was a reason why Lincoln was on the penny. Do you know why? No, I do not. Oh, call me and I'll explain. Oh, Pat, how could you? How could you? Pat is going to have to come on. He has so much knowledge that it's amazing. And I'm learning every day. I cannot thank everybody enough for being here. And please tell me what you think. Personal message me. I am not as mean as I come across. I'm like actually a really nice person. Systemic racism makes me insane. It brings out like the insanity in me. It just does. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I talk about it. And I hope in this talking that white folks will just listen, just care, just anything. Anton, thank you. Be safe out there. Thank you. You too, Anton. Thank you so much. Oh, you need to tell me so I would understand it more. No. And, right. And Pat, you're going to come on. You're going to have to come on one of the Wednesday shows and seriously be a guest host, because you know stuff. It's amazing. And I appreciate it very, very much. So please help support me right now. Getting support is, I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of support, but I want to be able to do this and reach more people. And I can't do it alone, because white folks, they don't realize that this is their business, the business of dismantling and taking racial responsibility. And so it's really hard to get to the white folks until I spread out more, and pretty soon they'll see it. So thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you this Wednesday, where it's your voice, your choice. Bring up any topic you want, bring your information, make sure it's, good stuff, because people will pounce you if you say stuff that is not accurate and false news. But if you have a topic, it doesn't matter if I know about it. If you know about it, bring it on. And I'll prepare 4 or 5 topics in general. We have a lot to talk about, because this whole reparations thing is ongoing. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. PM me, and please get your friends to subscribe. And I'm trying very hard to get into Facebook to get the whole stream together. And hopefully we'll get that. So thank you so much. And I will see you next time. And if you want to, if you're still listening, I just forgot to say this. For some reason, YouTube has this strange thing. If you press like the happy buttons, like the little emoji guys, it helps to get like your ranking up so other people see your videos. I don't know. It's a strange thing, but feel free to put all those little emoji guys, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Good night, everybody. And yes, I read what you said, Pat. Oh my God. Pat, I could be on the phone with you for hours. Thank you so much. Okay. Good night, everybody.